I'd rather crawl to my future than to run back to my past.
49-year-old Tyrone Williams admits it's not easy, but with the help of Wilmington's Hope Commission, it's certainly possible.
I remember when I first started coming here, it was kind of hard because I was really closed off, not really open, not really receptive to people. So that was like a problem in the beginning.
However, leaders here and partnerships at other local programs helped to change Tyrone's attitude.
I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I knew what I wasn't going to do. You know what I mean? I knew certain situations that I wasn't going to allow myself to ever be back in that situation again, no matter what. You know what I mean? So that was the foundation for me.
3 years behind bars was also enough to motivate Tyrone.
It's just a horrible experience, you know? You got to dig deep in yourself. I just remember that I spent most of the time reflecting on my situation, you know, my life, what it took for me to get there, you know what I mean? How unhappy I was to be there, how disappointed I was in myself, how I expected more out of myself, and just what was I going to do differently, you know what I mean, now that I had all this time to reflect.
Tyrone even decided to spend extra time in a halfway house just to stay out of trouble until he found employment. He attributes part of his success to a past mentor.
He said the most important thing today is your attitude. He said, and if you change your attitude, everything else will fall behind it. You know what I mean? And he had this formula up on his wall that broke it down for you. And then that's when it began to click. You know, and then I start smiling more.
Nowadays, Tyrone is working at a Delaware recycling plant, taking care of his family, furthering his education, and encouraging recently released prisoners to change their lives.
Y'all go to jail and y'all play chess every day on the boards. Some of y'all become expert chess players on the board. But when you come out into the world, you don't know how to play chess. You don't know how to make moves to set up from one situation to the next situation.
Devin Hargraves is one of the many men benefiting from advice similar to Tyrone's. The 25-year-old is a proud father of a 5-year-old daughter that he walks to school daily. He is determined to not go back to jail. Instead, he's focusing on making a difference in his daughter's life as being a role model.
On in out of the cold.
It feels excellent. I get a chance to be with her at the time she needs me the most. I mean, school is important, so I definitely feel good about that.
Hargraves says transitioning back into society would be tough without the Hope Commission that gives him a sense of family.
I'm focused and I see a lot of things clearly, and now I understand life more.
According to Executive Director Charles Madden, the Hope Commission has helped 120 men since October 2015. That's a significant number that could lead to more services for offenders outside of the Wilmington area.
So lots of conversations about trying to increase the amount of people we serve here. But also when we started out, we were hoping to try and create a model that could be expanded across the state. So at some point, we'd like to see ourselves expanded into some of the other counties because there's a need for this, you know, across the state, and so we'd like to try to meet that need.
Meanwhile, Tyrone's message remains dedicated to sharing words of wisdom, this time from his grandmother.
I remember what my grandmother told me when I was a kid, and she always told me this, and I always heard her, you know, but some things you have to find out for yourself. She said, nothing's good going to come out of anything bad.
Thanks to support from the Hope Commission, Hargraves, the young man who you saw walking his daughter to school, was recently offered a job. He's now working as an environmental specialist with the Department of Parks and Recreation in Wilmington.
That's great news. Now, does the Hope Commission take walk-ins?
Well, not at this time, Shirley. Only referrals from the Department of Corrections and other agencies dedicated to helping former offenders, of course. And I like to add, thanks to support from the state, the Hope Commission is able to rehabilitate most of the men who actually walk through their doors.
Okay, so should we expect to see the Hope Commission expanding in the state with other locations?
Well, that is certainly the goal, but not at this time. Nothing is set in stone, but the goal is to definitely open other locations in the state of Delaware.
Okay, thank you so much, Nichelle. You can check this story out again if you go online to WHYY.org/first.